Welcome to Chapter 1, Rights of Data Principles under the DPDP Act 2023. In this chapter, we delve into right to access personal data, right to rectification, erasure, and portability, right to object and withdraw consent, rights in case of personal data breach. The rights of data principles. These rights form the backbone of the Act, ensuring that individuals have control over their personal data and its processing. We will explore key rights, including right to access personal data to promote transparency, right to rectification, erasure, and portability to maintain accuracy and ensure control, right to object and withdraw consent to provide flexibility and autonomy, rights in case of personal data breach to protect and empower individuals in critical situations. This chapter will equip you with a clear understanding of these rights, their scope, and their practical applications. With this knowledge, you'll appreciate the vital role these provisions play in fostering trust, accountability, and privacy in the digital age. Right to access personal data. The right to access personal data allows Data Principles Quest to obtain information about the personal data being processed by data fiduciaries. This right ensures transparency and helps individuals understand what personal data is being collected, how it is being processed, and for what purposes. Section 11 of the DPDP Act provides the right to access personal data. A data principal shall have the right to obtain from the data fiduciary the summary of personal data being processed and the processing activities undertaken by that data fiduciary with respect to such personal data. Key aspects of this right. Access to processed data. Data principals can request detailed information about the personal data being processed, including the purpose of processing, the types of data collected, and the recipients of the data. Timely response. Data fiduciaries must respond to access requests within a prescribed time limit, typically 30 days. Specific information. The request should include information on any third-party data processors or data fiduciaries that have received the personal data. Example: if Anjali has shared her health data with a healthcare provider for treatment, she can request access to the data held by the provider, including her medical records and treatment history. Right to rectification, erasure, and portability. The DPDP Act provides data principals with the right to rectify, erase, or transfer their personal data under specific circumstances. These rights empower individuals to ensure their data is accurate, up-to-date, and under their control. Right to rectification. If the data processed by a data fiduciary is inaccurate or incomplete, the data principal can request corrections. Section 12(2) of the DPDP Act outlines the right to rectification. A data principal shall have the right to correct inaccurate personal data, complete incomplete personal data, or update personal data. Right to erasure. Data principals can request the deletion of personal data if it is no longer necessary for the purposes for which it was collected, or if they withdraw their consent. Section 12(3) of the DPDP Act outlines the right to erasure. A data principal has the right to request the erasure of her personal data, except in circumstances where retention is necessary for compliance with any law for the time being in force. Right to portability. This right enables data principals to obtain their personal data in a structured, machine-readable format and transfer it to another data fiduciary. Section 12(4) of the DPDP Act outlines the right to data portability. A data principal shall have the right to obtain a copy of personal data in a structured and machine-readable format and to transfer it to another data fiduciary. Example: if Rajesh uses an online fitness app and wants to move his data to another service, he can request data portability to facilitate the transfer. Right to object and withdraw consent. The right to object allows data principals to challenge the processing of their personal data, particularly when it is based on legitimate interests or direct marketing. They also have the right to withdraw their consent at any time, halting the processing of their data unless there are other lawful grounds for processing. Right to object. Data principals can object to the processing of their personal data, particularly for direct marketing purposes. Section 13 of the DPDP Act provides the right to object. A data principal shall have the right to object to the processing of their personal data, including but not limited to direct marketing. Right to withdraw consent. Data principals can withdraw their consent at any time, and the data fiduciary must cease processing the data based on the withdrawn consent. Section 13(4) of the DPDP Act addresses the right to withdraw consent. A data principal shall have the right to withdraw consent at any time, and the data fiduciary shall cease the processing of personal data based on the withdrawn consent. Example: if Priya has given consent to an e-commerce platform to use her browsing history for targeted ads, she can withdraw her consent at any time and stop receiving targeted ads. 1.4 Rights in case of personal data breach. In the event of a personal data breach, data principals have the right to be notified about the breach and take necessary steps to mitigate its impact. The DPDP Act ensures that data fiduciaries are responsible for informing data principals if their data is compromised. Section 8 of 6 of the DPDP Act outlines the right to notification in case of data breach. In the event of a personal data breach, the data fiduciary shall notify the board and each affected data principal of the breach in a timely manner, providing information on the nature of the breach and measures taken to mitigate it. Key points of this right: immediate notification. The data fiduciary must notify the affected data principals in a clear and accessible manner. Protective measures. The data fiduciary must implement remedial actions, such as offering credit monitoring services or providing information on how to mitigate the breach's impact. Example: if an online retailer experiences a cybersecurity breach and personal data like credit card information is stolen, they must notify the affected customers immediately, advising them on steps to protect their financial data. Key takeaways: right to access. Data principals can access their personal data and understand how it is being processed. Right to rectification, erasure, and portability. Data principals can ensure their personal data is accurate, delete unnecessary data, and transfer it to another provider. Right to object and withdraw consent. Data principals can object to processing and withdraw consent at any time. Rights in case of data breach. In the event of a data breach, data principals must be notified and provided with the necessary steps to mitigate the breach. The rights provided under the DPDP Act empower individuals to maintain control over their personal data and ensure that data fiduciaries adhere to privacy standards. Thank you for joining this session. In the next lesson, we will explore the data fiduciary's obligations, diving deeper into how this vital code operates. See you soon. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more valuable legal insights and updates. youtube.com/prolegalminds. If you have any legal questions or need assistance, visit us at prolegalminds.com to connect with our expert team. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of the law with confidence. Stay informed, stay empowered. See you in the next session.